Shalom, shalom. Yisrael, Yohanatan Dawid with you here again. And beautiful song there. Brothers honoring their mother. That was Boys to Men. Thank you, Jason, for getting that, finding that for me. I appreciate that. So much to talk about women. I started it last week, but there's so much I can easily go on for another few weeks. But I didn't want to end it as I did last week. There's more to say about our women who birthed the nation. I talked about Deborah last week, whose name means bee. How powerful was Deborah? I want to go back to her a little bit. Go to Judges 5, 6, and 7. And in Judges 5, 6, and 7, it says that the highways in the days of Yael and Deborah, the highways were deserted, and the travelers walked along the byways. Village life ceased. It ceased in Israel until I, Deborah, arose a mother in Israel. The whole town shut down until she got up. And that's power. And I wanted to again read the song of Yael, who pierced the king's head. And that's in Judges 5, 24 and 27. I'm going to read that again because it's so beautiful. Most blessed among women is Yael, the wife of Heber the Kenite. Blessed is she among women in tents. He asked for water, she gave milk. She brought out cream in a lordly bowl. She stretched out her hand to the tent bag, her right hand to the workman's hammer. She pounded Sisera, she pierced his head. She split and struck through his temple. And that was a song. That was sang. It was no rap song either. Y'all like rap and all that ghetto stuff and talk about bees and hoes and all this stuff and calling us niggas and all that stuff. That was a song. And it was a song of righteousness, of righteous retribution. So, it's a beautiful song. I would like to hear how that was sang, like the song that we just opened up with. But rest assured, one of the things that puts a man at rest, that a man put his guard down on, is a woman. And as such, that is who will inflict that deadly blow on the beast. And we know he's going to recover from it, but a woman will inflict that blow. And here's one I didn't even talk about last week. Let's go to 2 Samuel 20. 2 Samuel 20. Because this one I didn't even talk about. I mentioned it, but I didn't even really read it. 16 to 22. Then a wise woman cried out from the city, "Here, here, please say to Joab, come nearby, that I may speak with you." This is Sheba's revolt, and Joab was chasing him down. One of the soldiers of, actually the head soldier of Dawid. And when he came to her, the woman said, "Are you Joab?" He answered, "I am." Then she said to him, "Hear the words of your maidservant." And he answered, "I am listening." So she spoke, saying, "They used to talk in former times, saying, they shall surely seek guidance at Abel. And so they would end disputes. I am among the peaceable and faithful in Israel. You seek to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why would you swallow up the inheritance of Yahweh?" And Joab answered and said, Far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. This is not so, but a man from the mountains of Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri by name, has raised his hand against the king, against Dawid. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. So the woman said to Joab, "Watch, his head will be thrown to you over the wall." Now she stopped him because, see, Joab wasn't a man to be played with. And he is a brute, really. And then you read the story about him, he was bloodthirsty. But a wise woman stopped all that. It was a better way to do this. Then the woman, in her wisdom, went to all the people, and they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri, and threw it out to Joab. She threw that thing over the wall. You don't play with a righteous woman, because that kind of woman is one's going to inflict their wound on the beast. Remember, it is her seed, not the man's seed, that the salvation came through. And that's going to bring us to Luke 1. Miriam. Let's hear how she sang. Miriam. This is where the matrix of Yahshua HaMashiach came through. Luke 1:46. My soul magnifies Yahweh, and my Ruach has rejoiced in Elohim, my Savior. For he has regarded the lowly state of his maidservant. For behold, henceforth all generations will call me blessed. For he who is mighty has done great things for me, and his Kodesh is his name, and his mercy is on those who reverence him from generation to generation. He has shown strength with his arm. He has scattered the proud in the imagination of their hearts. He has put down the mighty from their thrones and exalted the lowly. He has filled the hungry with told things, and the rich he has sent away empty. He has helped his servant Yisrael in remembrance of his Hasid, as he spoke to our fathers, to Abraham, and to his seed, Olam. Righteous women know the Torah. In that psalm, she quoted Genesis, Exodus, Samuel, Psalms, Isaiah, Habakkuk. You think she don't know her history? Do you know your history? Do you know where you came from? A righteous woman knows history. She knows real history, not made up history, true history. She knows her where she came from. That brings us to your word today. Yehonatan Dawid with you here, Yahweh for Christians at WordPress.com, Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com, 443-306-3518. Check out my book at Everyone's Place, 1356 West North Avenue. So your word for today is Gaal. Reading your King James Version, you don't really understand the genetic significance of that word. It's Strong's 1350, number 1350, and it is translated in our English Bibles as Redeemer. But you do not get the true essence of the word when you say the word Redeemer, because it's not just any Redeemer. It's not just such a generic word like that. It is a genetic word. And Gaal means someone who has infinity with you, an affinity for you. It has to be someone that's related with you, that you are related with him, to be redeemed from. It is a word of genetics. Let's go, and I'm going to tell you why I went to that, but let's go to Hannah. I talked about Hannah last week. We'll go back to 1 Samuel 2, 1 through 10. I want to read her song. Here's another woman who knows the Torah. And so powerful is this song. Dawid and the Messiah himself quotes her. So let's go there. 1 Samuel 2, 1 through 10. My heart rejoices in Yahweh. My horn is exalted in Yahweh. I smile at my enemies because I rejoice in your salvation. No one is Kodesh like Yahweh, for there is none beside you, nor is there any rock like our Elohim. Talk no more so very proudly. Let no arrogance come forth from your mouth, for Yahweh is Elohim of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. The bows of the mighty men are broken, and those who stumble are girded with strength. Those who were full have hired themselves out for bread, and the hungry has ceased to hunger. Even the barren has borne 7, and she who has many children has become feeble. Yahweh kills and makes alive. He brings down the grave and brings up. Yahweh makes poor and makes rich. He brings low and lifts up. He raises the poor from the dust, and he lifts the beggar from the ash heap, to set him among princes, and make them inherit the throne of his honor. For the pillars of the earth are Yahweh's, and he has set the world upon them. He will guard the feet of his saints, but the wicked will be silent in darkness, for by strength no man will prevail. The adversaries of Yahweh will be broken in pieces from heaven. He will thunder against them. Yahweh will judge the ends of the earth. He will give strength to his king and exalt the horn of his anointed. That was the song inspired from Ruach HaKodesh after Yahweh honored her vow to him, and she ended up birthing Samuel. So powerful was that song, Dawid quotes her. And guess what? You go to Matthew 28, Yahshua himself quotes her. He quotes this song. Righteous women know the Torah. They read the book. They know it. They know their history. They know who their God is, their genetic redeemer who looks like them. When you open that book, you should see yourself in it. It has been whitewashed and to take you out of it. The righteous women know who they are. They know they birthed the nation, and they know that Yahweh's people, who they are, and they know who their enemy is. So much so that the most righteous men quote them. Stop with that damnable pink brand. I'm not saying don't wear it, but I'm talking about the tenets of it, the marketing of it. It's about abortion and homosexuality, and also pedophilia. When you have little teeny tiny clothes for little girls with pink across the buttocks, the cheeks of the shorts, and across the half cut, the blouse are already short. Then they have a midriff cut at top, and with pink across breasts they don't even have yet. They ain't even got breasts, and you got pink going across it. All colors they use, and they put pink on any color. So it's a brand I'm talking about. The brand, the marketing, or the tenets of it. Not the color itself, but the brand of it is unrighteous. And they put it upon women. A smart woman will see this and know this and not support it. And don't put it on your children. So what about our Redeemer? What about our Redeemer? Well, let's talk about Esther. More appropriately is a star. Aleph Samek Tet Resh. Her name means star. In essence, Esther is like a female angel, a female malak. If you read that story about Deborah, and you see that literally angels came down and helped her in that fight. Angels came down and helped in that battle. And in essence, Esther is a female angel. Her story takes place with Israel under Persian rule. And as queen, because of her beauty, one of the most beautiful women ever on earth, she became queen in a foreign land. And she was placed there by the Most High because in her position there, she delivered Israel from being massacred. Star. A type of angel type. So what is your Redeemer? Someone that comes from you, from your background, your history, your genetics. Look in the mirror and see what you look like. Open the Bible, and that's who's in the book. The whole book is about your history. Ruth, I didn't even talk about her. The 10th generation from Moab. That's very important that she was 10 generations removed from Moab. That's very important, that 10. But more appropriately, Ruth. Resh Wa Tet. Her name means friend. Ruth is like the female version of Abraham. Her job was Yahweh's redemptive work. Again, redemptive work of Yahweh through Ruth. If you look at the genealogy of the Messiah in Matthew, you see that both Boaz and Ruth are mentioned. Boaz was a type of Messiah. Ruth was the redeemed by the Messiah. Boaz redeemed Ruth. So she represents the redemptive work of Yahweh. She's like a female Abraham type. There's so many women to talk about in the Torah that really lets you know who Yahweh's people are. And today we don't know who we are. Gawal, 1350 in your Strong's Concordance. It is a genetic redeemer. It's not just any, it's a kinsman. A kinsman, someone that's like you. A Hebrew is a black, brown brother and sister. It's not white, it's not red. Last week I read those 12 gates that everyone will have to go through, that was going to be saved eternally. Let me read it in Hebrew. I read it in anglicized Hebrew last week. This is Yahonatan Dawid with you here, Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com, 443-306-3518. Check me out at Everyone's Place, 1356 West North Avenue. Our Redeemer, Yahweh Shua. What are those 12 gates? Rehubain. His name means behold a son. Shimon. His name means obedient. Lawi. His name means joined or attached. Yahuda means praise Yah. Zebulun means to dwell or a gift or a dowry. Yisashkar means man of hire or reward. God means fortune or luck. Asher, happy. Naphtali, my struggle. Yosef, may Yahweh add or secure. Binyamin, son of the south. Manasseh, causing to forget. Did you notice anything there? You hear the Hebraism in all those names? Was there anybody named Billy, Ricky, Jorge? I like to include, was there a Pablo in there? Was there Wilhelm, Leonardo? Was there any Jessicas or Sarah, Jessicas or Sandras in there? Hebrew. Hebrew. Yahweh chose to go through the Hebrew tongue, mind, and nation to let anyone on the earth know what his mind had to say to you, to let you know what the workings of his hands would be. He came through you. Get off the corners, get off the streets, stop wasting your time, stop committing crime, be upright. Be a man and a woman of Yah. Represent yourself as who you should be, who you're born to be. A righteous, upright man of Yah. This is Remnant Radio, because only a remnant will hear it. I get most of my material from remnant preaching, and most people don't even want to hear that. You have a man of Yah laying down every Wednesday for over a decade, giving you information radio, not talk radio, because there's no need to waste time going back and forth with people who do not take serious all your studies and prayers and fasting that you go through, to hear someone with no knowledge of it to argue back and forth with you on it. You get real information every Wednesday on this radio station from 11 to 12 that can help you every day to walk upright and be a man or woman of Yah, to represent the people of the book that the whole world envies. Everyone hates you. Everyone wants to take your spot, your slot. They hate you when you're on the corners selling drugs, doing dope, nodding out, and they hate you when you become knowledgeable of who you are and speak upright and do righteousness. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you hate yourself or love yourself. Either way, they're going to hate you. So you might as well do what's right. Live right. When you open this book, realize who you're reading about. It is a history book. A history book that tells you about the future of reality. It tells you about the workings of Yahweh's hand. It's a history book that tells you about the working of Yahweh's hand. And it tells you about his mind and his heart. And you are to share that, the might of Yah, to his people. And you should know the working of his hands. If you don't, he will destroy you and not build you up. You must know the workings of Yahweh's hands. You must have discernment. When Noah, who had discernment, preached, it never rained, and he didn't believe. And now you have modern Noah here, and it rains every day, and you still don't believe. Politicking. We're going using that same old 8-track to solve our problems. We're going to talk about that starting next week. But I wanted to lay down the bricks of of who of who you are first. Realize your position in this world and how we are to ameliorate our conditions. We cannot do it with what you're hearing in this program, on this radio station, before this program and after. All their means of ameliorating your conditions are played old, tired. How in the world is the man that put you in the position that you're in going to suddenly allow you to get out of it? You're asking for the right thing for deliverance, but you're asking of the wrong person. So let's get this straight. The Most High brought us out of slavery in Egypt, out of the house of bondage, and gave us our land. And over a period of time, we get sopped up, betrayed by our own brothers and cousins, and brought over here and enslaved again in Christianity. So that's what he did. He brought us out of slavery to now say, here's the truth in Christianity. You've been enslaved, but you didn't get converted to Christianity. Search the books, search all history, and see what people voluntarily say, here, take me, take my land, make me denounce what I believe and what I grew up in, and receive what you have to give. The last man on earth. Oh yeah, now all of a sudden, all of reality and all of truth comes through the English tongue. You can't get more foolish than that. And this is not about hate. It's about loving yourself. It's about setting the record straight. It's about knowing true history. And that makes you a threat. That makes you a threat. You ain't talking about killing nobody. You ain't talking about hating nobody. You ain't talking about destroying nobody. All you're talking about is, I know who I am. That's all you're saying. And I love myself. And I love my brothers and I love my sisters. And they're going the wrong way. They're going to hell in a handbasket with their Jesus Christ. That's all you're saying. And then they hate you. And they also hate you when you don't know who you are. When you're laying down on the canvas, reaching for drugs, not marrying your women, not knowing who your children are, eating bad food. You're in the club living your best life. Accepting the dynamics that they give you, calling yourself what they call you, subjecting yourself to their blueprint. And you're going to get out of your conditions with their blueprint. Yehonatan Dawid with you, Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com. Check me out at Everyone's Place, 1356 West North Avenue. 12 gates. Everyone wants to go to heaven, as they say. Everyone wants to go to heaven. Name the gates of so-called heaven. Name them. There ain't one European, German, Latin, Italian name on there. No Japanese name, no Chinese name, no Korean name. They're all Hebrew. And you didn't get it? It ain't clicking yet? It ain't clicking? That the Most High chose a specific people? It ain't no smorgasbord. It ain't no come one, come all. He have a specific people. And I don't want you to get mixed up with this black Hebrew Israelite stuff. Ain't nowhere in the book where we identified as a people as black. Because that's another ruse. I do not identify myself as a black Hebrew. I am Hebrew, who happen to be what they call black. But what it is melatonin. Melatonin is the ruach. And the less melatonin you have, the less ruach you have. To be sure, we all have it to various degrees, but it's what helps you to hear what the Ruach HaKodesh has to say to you about Yahweh. You hear him with it. And those who rule the earth don't have it or have very little of it. And that's why they rule in hate. Guess what the Hebrew word for hate is? And I can't make this up. The Hebrew word for hate is sane. You open your dictionary, you read your English dictionary, written by people that don't look like you, they say being sane is in your right mind. So if a man, let me get this right. So when a man makes rules and laws and that we have to live by, he's doing it in his sane mind. So we're living right now in conditions by leaders who are sane. If they're not in their right mind, we call them insane. So either way, they're either sane or they're inside of sane. In Hebrew, that means they are mad. And if they're insane, they're in their madness. I can't make this up. These are some evil people ruling this country, ruling this world, and they're doing it in their sane minds. Naturally evil, naturally bad, naturally crazy. And then when they say somebody's crazy, they say they're insane. So they're really in their crazy minds. I can't make that up. I can't make that up. All you gotta do is love yourself, and they get rattled. All you're doing. Because a man of Yah and a woman of Yah is upright. And they keep laws and they keep rules because that's what they used to doing. They are disciples. Disciples are disciplined ones. They're not out here trying to do any harm or damage. That Christians, they can do that. So we're going to talk about, since we like this is there's so many political programs on this station. We're going to talk about, there was a time when we did have some power politically. You know, we actually had enough power to even elect a president. Oh yeah, he's a big one too. He's on some of the money that you don't get too much of. We're going to talk about that. But the old paradigm, the old way of ameliorating your conditions, we must come out of. We must come out of that. You did not get out of Egypt any other way but by force and by might and by obedience to the one way of getting out of there. And there's only one way. There's only one way. And that's through your Ga'al, your kinsman, your redeemer, Yahweh Shua HaMashiach. This is Yahweh for Christians at gmail.com. Your hometown Dawit with you. Yahweh willing, I will see you again next week. Shalom. Shalom.